Our journey begins with what would become Lancia's final farewell to the coupe world. In 1997, as the brand celebrated its 100th anniversary, Lancia introduced something special: the Kappa Coupe. This wasn't just another variant of their existing sedan. This was a handcrafted statement piece that would unknowingly mark the end of an era. The Kappa Coupe emerged from a collaboration that sounds almost too good to be true. While Pininfarina had styled the sedan and wagon variants, Lancia turned to Carrozzeria Maggiora for the coupe's design, the same legendary workshop responsible for the DeTomaso Pantera. This decision would prove both inspired and problematic. Built on the Tipo 4 platform shared with the Alfa Romeo 166, Lancia Thema, Fiat Croma, and Saab 9000, the Kappa Coupe received significant modifications to create its distinctive character. The wheelbase was shortened by 120 mm compared to the sedan, dropping from 2,700 to 2,580 mm. The body sat 37 mm lower, measuring 4,560 mm in length, 1,825 mm in width, and just 1,430 mm in height. This dimensional surgery created the coupe's most controversial aspect: its proportions. Fiat CEO Paolo Cantarella's decision to shorten the wheelbase for a sportier character resulted in visual compromises that would haunt the car's reception. The shortened wheelbase created an awkward relationship between the doors and rear wheels, giving the car a slightly truncated appearance that automotive journalists struggled to embrace. Yet, beneath this controversial exterior lay sophisticated engineering. The Kappa Coupe offered an impressive range of powertrains. The base 2.4-liter 20-valve engine produced 175 horsepower, while the 3.0-liter V624-valve unit delivered 204 horsepower. For those seeking maximum performance, the 2.0-liter 20-valve turbo, introduced in 1998, generated 220 horsepower. Even diesel enthusiasts weren't forgotten. A 2.4-liter JTD diesel producing 150 horsepower joined the lineup in 1998. The construction reflected traditional Italian craftsmanship. Built alongside the Fiat Barchetta at Maggiora's facility, each Kappa Coupe received individual attention. Frameless doors enhanced the sporty appearance, while the wider rear track compared to the sedan improved handling dynamics. The drag coefficient of 0.37 represented an improvement over the sedan's aerodynamics. However, timing worked against the Kappa Coupe from the beginning. Launched into a European market dominated by German luxury coupes and increasingly popular SUVs, the Lancia found few direct competitors. Only the Volvo C70 and Peugeot 406 Coupe occupied similar territory in the late 1990s, leaving the Kappa Coupe in a remarkably empty niche. Production numbers tell the story of its commercial struggle. From January 1997 to March 2000, Maggiora completed just 3,263 coupes out of 117,216 total Kappa vehicles, less than 3% of the model's overall production. This extreme rarity wasn't by design. It was a reflection of limited demand for a car that never received proper recognition. The Kappa Coupe's failure wasn't due to poor engineering or construction quality. Instead, it suffered from Lancia's evolving brand image. Once synonymous with rally victories and sporting excellence, Lancia had become associated with staider, older customers by the late 1990s. The coupe's sophisticated character and premium pricing couldn't overcome this perception. Today, the automotive world recognizes what it lost. Enthusiasts describe the Kappa Coupe as the car I most regret not buying, appreciating its combination of Italian craftsmanship, sophisticated engineering, and extreme rarity. With average prices around $3,345 and the highest recorded sale reaching just $5,500 in April 2023. These machines represent remarkable value for those seeking genuine Italian automotive artistry. While the automotive world obsessed over horsepower wars and exotic supercars, Pininfarina was quietly revolutionizing how the industry thought about environmental responsibility. The Ethos trilogy, 3 concept cars created between 1992 and 1994, represented a radical departure from traditional automotive priorities, showcasing that environmental consciousness and sporting performance could coexist harmoniously. This wasn't typical concept car theater. Pininfarina partnered with Orbital Engine Company, Hydro Aluminum, and General Electric Plastics to create fully functional vehicles that could be tested as rigorously as any production sports car. The project fell to Stefan Schwartz, a recent Art Center graduate who received the assignment to design something fun but environmentally friendly, a brief that seemed almost contradictory in the early 1990s. The trilogy began with Ethos 1, a Spider that debuted at the 1992 Turin Motor Show. This wasn't just another pretty concept car. Weighing just 700 kilograms, the Ethos 1 achieved remarkable performance through intelligent engineering rather than brute force. The Orbital 3-cylinder, 2-stroke engine produced 95 horsepower at 5,000 to 5,500 revolutions per minute and 125 Newton-meters of torque, driving the rear wheels through a 5-speed manual transmission. The construction philosophy prioritized sustainability without compromising functionality. An aluminum extrusion chassis from hydro-aluminium provided strength while minimizing weight. Thermoplastic body panels from General Electric Plastics offered durability and recyclability. Even the water-based PPG paint reflected environmental considerations that wouldn't become mainstream for decades. Ethos 2, the coupe presented at the 1993 Geneva Motor Show, pushed aerodynamic efficiency to extraordinary levels. With a drag coefficient of just 0.19, this machine achieved numbers that modern hypercars struggle to match. The sleek bodywork wrapped similar mechanicals to the Spider, but the focus shifted toward maximum efficiency rather than open-air motoring. The trilogy concluded with Ethos 3, unveiled at the 1994 Turin Auto Salon. This city car measured just 3.20 meters in length, yet accommodated 6 passengers in 2 rows of 3. The most innovative feature was the sliding driver's seat that could position the driver on the left, right, or center of the vehicle, a prescient solution to changing traffic patterns and parking challenges. What made the Ethos trilogy truly remarkable was its real-world capability. Test drivers pushed these concepts as hard as the latest European exotics at the Mireval circuit, confirming that environmental responsibility didn't require performance compromises. The orbital engine technology promised near-zero emission vehicle levels while delivering genuine sporting character. Yet the automotive world largely ignored these pioneering machines. The early 1990s market showed little interest in environmental considerations, preferring the raw spectacle of traditional supercars. Pininfarina's more dramatic Ferrari-based concepts captured attention and headlines, while the Ethos trilogy was dismissed as an interesting but irrelevant experiment. This dismissal reveals the automotive industry's short-sightedness. The Ethos trilogy essentially created the VW XL1 before the VW XL1 was a thing, demonstrating sustainable design principles that wouldn't gain acceptance until decades later. While Tesla receives credit for revolutionizing automotive environmental consciousness, Pininfarina was exploring these concepts 25 years earlier. In 1996, the automotive world witnessed something unprecedented. Stola, long known as a behind-the-scenes collaborator for major manufacturers, stepped into the spotlight with their first independent creation, the Dedica. This wasn't just another concept car. It was a declaration of independence from a company that had spent decades bringing other people's visions to life. The name itself carried profound significance. Dedica honored former Fiat president Giovanni Agnelli, acknowledging the deep connections between Italian automotive culture and its most influential figures. This tribute demonstrated Stola's appreciation for their heritage while announcing their intention to create automotive art under their own banner. The timing of this transformation couldn't have been more appropriate. Stola had just completed development of the Fiat Barchetta, giving them intimate knowledge of the platform they would use as their foundation. Rather than simply modifying an existing design, they chose to reimagine what a high-performance roadster could become. Aldo Brovarone, the renowned automotive designer, created a form that emphasized performance above all else. The Dedica abandoned the Barchetta's comfortable touring character in favor of radical speedster configuration. Windows were cut down to just 20 centimeters in height and rendered non-operational, while a plexiglass wind deflector replaced traditional windscreen protection. The center console disappeared entirely, creating a focused, purposeful interior environment. The exterior wore a distinctive aquamarine color scheme that set it apart from typical automotive palette choices. Brovarone's elegant lines emphasized the car's performance focus while maintaining the sophisticated character expected from Italian automotive artistry. This wasn't crude modification, but thoughtful reinterpretation of the donor platform's potential. Mechanically, the Dedica represented a dramatic departure from its Barchetta foundation. The standard 1.8-liter naturally aspirated engine gave way to a 2.0-liter turbocharged unit borrowed from the Lancia Thema. This power plant generated 262 horsepower, a substantial increase over the Barchetta's modest output. Combined with aggressive weight reduction that brought curb weight down to 1,020 kilograms, the performance transformation was dramatic. The numbers spoke for themselves. Top speed reached 270 kilometers per hour, 167 miles per hour, while acceleration from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour required just 5.8 seconds. These figures put the Dedica in genuine supercar territory, competing with machines costing many times more. The achievement was particularly remarkable given the front-wheel drive configuration, a layout typically avoided for high-performance applications. Stola's debut creation made impressive appearances at the 1996 Turin Motor Show and Concorso d'Eleganza Via d'Est, prestigious venues that elevated the project's profile. These presentations announced Stola's evolution from skilled collaborator to independent creator, launching a decade-long series of prototypes that would run from 1996 to 2006. The Dedica's significance extended beyond its impressive performance specifications. It marked a crucial transition period in the Italian automotive industry during the mid-1990s, when traditional coach builders were seeking new roles in an increasingly consolidated marketplace. Rather than simply becoming contracted manufacturers, Stola chose to demonstrate their creative capabilities through independent projects. Yet despite its impressive credentials and prestigious debuts, the Dedica remained largely unknown outside Italy. Limited documentation and exposure beyond specialized automotive publications meant that most enthusiasts never encountered this remarkable machine. The combination of extreme performance, elegant design, and historical significance should have made it a landmark achievement. The project also showcased the potential for extreme modifications to mainstream platforms. By demonstrating that a Fiat Barchetta foundation could support genuine supercar performance, Stola proved that innovation didn't require exotic materials or astronomical budgets. Intelligent engineering and focused development could transform humble beginnings into extraordinary results. Our final underrated sports car of the 1990s is perhaps the most tragic. A machine that existed only as dreams and prototypes, yet represented everything exciting about supercar development during the decade's early years. The Iso Grifo 90 combined legendary design talent, cutting-edge engineering, and Italian automotive passion into a project that should have revolutionized the supercar landscape. The story begins in 1989 with Piero Rivolta's ambitious plan to revive the Iso marque that had created some of the 1960s most desirable grand touring cars. This wasn't nostalgic recreation, but forward-thinking innovation that honored the past while embracing future possibilities. Rivolta assembled a dream team that reads like a supercar hall of fame: Marcello Gandini for design, Dallara for chassis engineering, and Callaway for engine development. Gandini brought unparalleled credibility to the project. As creator of the Lamborghini Countach and Lancia Stratos, his involvement guaranteed instant recognition among serious automotive enthusiasts. More importantly, Gandini understood Iso's cultural DNA, being well-versed in Marque's culture, perfectly in sync with Piero Rivolta's thinking. This wasn't hired gun styling, but passionate collaboration between kindred spirits. The technical specifications promised genuine supercar performance. The foundation would be a GM 5.7-liter V8 engine borrowed from the Corvette C4, but transformed by Callaway's turbocharging expertise. Target output reached 440 brake horsepower and 640 Newton-meters of torque, delivered through a 6-speed manual transmission to a Dallara-designed tubular space-frame chassis with racing-style suspension. These numbers promised extraordinary performance. Theoretical top speed exceeded 300 kilometers per hour, placing the Grifo 90 among the fastest machines of its era. The combination of proven American V8 reliability with Italian design sophistication and English engineering precision represented the best of international automotive collaboration. Gandini's design philosophy for the project emphasized softer forms with subtle surfacing compared to his more angular Lamborghini work. The Grifo 90 featured body-colored bumpers and concealed A-pillars that reflected early 1990s styling trends while maintaining connection to the original Grifo's design language. Twin nostril front treatment referenced the classic car, while slim slatted grille echoed the 7-litre's distinctive penthouse power bulge. The flowing undulating beltline came directly from the classic Grifo, but was modernized with wedge profile influences from Gandini's Lamborghini experience. Sharp angles and low, aggressive stance created unmistakably contemporary appearance while respecting historical precedents. Crucially, the design avoided spoilers or obvious aerodynamic devices, maintaining clean profile that emphasized pure form over functional theatricality. Yet economic reality destroyed these carefully laid plans. The global recession that began in 1990 eliminated the market for exotic supercars costing £100,000. Government funding promised to Rivolta never materialized, leaving the project without necessary financial backing. Production plans were abandoned in 1990, just as development reached critical phases. Only a wooden scale model and one non-functional yellow prototype were completed before the project's cancellation. These remnants represented the entire legacy of what could have been one of the decade's most significant supercars. The timing was particularly cruel. The planned 1991 debut would have coincided with the recession's worst effects on luxury automotive markets. The story didn't end there. In 2007, Federico Bonomelli discovered the original wooden model and convinced Piero Rivolta to approve a limited production revival. The updated specifications used a Chevrolet Corvette C5Z06 foundation with ZR1 aluminum V8 engine, modified by Callaway, to produce 490 horsepower. Multi-material construction reduced weight to 1,200 kilograms, promising 0 to 100 kilometers per hour acceleration in just 3.6 seconds and 300 kilometers per hour top speed. One complete car was built from this revival attempt, accompanied by plans for 11 additional examples. However, the 2008 economic crisis repeated history, ending the second attempt to bring Gandini's vision to production reality. The economic challenges facing low-volume manufacturers proved insurmountable twice in 2 decades.